Story on the go now with eNCA's Govan Whittles. Scopa is inspecting and sort of conducting oversight at Prasa, the passenger rail agency of South Africa. Govan, you are right at the heart of things where this incident occurred a few days ago.
Yes, I am, Tshwane, and here is the train that had that collision. Let's listen to the Scopa chair.
I think for us it's just to see. But the comfort is that if this is all localized manufacturing, then the ease of movement of the parts and the mold being here. But I think what it also underscores is the fact that there will be trial and error in putting in place safety protocols to prevent this kind of thing. Because quite frankly, it's clear that the impact was massive. Notwithstanding the explanation given by the CEO, it's quite clear. But let's leave it to...
So I'm interested, at what speed was this other train traveling for this impact to be huge?
Currently, there's what we call downloads. There's a team that is busy with the downloads. And the nice part about this train set is also got front cameras, where you can even show. And so with the downloads, the engineers are busy doing the downloads, and it will be presented. There's already a team assembled for investigation. So far, the report is not yet finalized. Once it's finalized, we'll be in the position to tell at what distance did the train start to move and what speed it did move.
When do you anticipate the
preliminary report, at least?
I'll tell you why. You see, you have to manage public perception. And public explanations take the public into confidence. You see, anybody who saw the picture will come to a conclusion that a huge thing happened. But you've explained, and I think the explanation, if it's correct, suffices. It not just but if you allow it to run too long, well, we will be subject to our own conspiracy theories. Okay, colleagues, I think...
Just to clarify what that explanation was from the acting CEO, he basically said that there was no collision of two trains traveling in opposite directions. Instead, it was two trains which had been uncoupled, and it appeared as if one of them rolled forward while they were uncoupled, and that's slight rolling forward is what caused the damage you see in front of you here. That's of course subject to a full investigation. But Tshwane, we do have a member of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Ms. Benedicta van Minnen, to speak to us about this. Ma'am, so you've come from we're currently at the Wilmington depot.
Yes.
Come from the Mabopane station. You've seen the train that collided. Just tell us what you're thinking as a member of Scopa.
Well, certainly at the first stop, we have seen the appalling effects of removing security and vandalism. Vandalism certainly appears to be one of the biggest challenges that Prasa is facing in terms of maintaining its rolling stock on a day-to-day basis. At this particular site, we're seeing a lot more security. Hopefully that is something we will be being rolled out more across the country. Certainly in Cape Town, where I come from, vandalism and theft is a massive, massive issue. Here we're seeing the new trains that have been brought on. They've told us that they've got 59 train sets based here. What we've seen here is one of the two trains that suffered what is essentially a rolling into each other collision last week. And we've been ascertaining here what's happened with the damage.
There have been a lot of tough questions from the committee members so far. You feel like Prasa is being transparent so far in what you've heard?
Look, I mean, we've dealt with Prasa over the years extensively. The board, for example, has been historically very, very unstable. There is always replacements happening. There are problems with governance. There are problems with consequence management. Certainly, I think what we're seeing on the ground here, the people here are being transparent. But obviously, we'll really only be able to ascertain that tomorrow when we actually meet with the board.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. And that meeting will happen after a visit to the Braamfontein depot. That's where the two tall trains, the trains that are too tall for the tracks, are based. And the committee will also take a look at that. You'll see in shot now, these are some members of Prasa, with them the head of security and then some operational members. Just having a look at the damages on the train, and when you have a look at it up close to Tshwane, it does appear much worse than just one train slightly rolling into the other, causing a collision. But the MPs that are here say that tomorrow's meeting with the Prasa board will be fiery, and they have a lot of tough questions to ask them. For now, it's back to you.
Yeah, and rightly so. They should have tough questions. questions for them, because for me, Govan, in as much as they're saying that it wasn't a collision of two trains moving in opposite directions, you know, with massive impact and disruption, etc., they were working on a technicality on one train, and in decoupling the coaches, one rolled onto the other. It still leaves me with a question of, don't these coaches have a braking mechanism or a stopper kind of thing that says this should not happen? We still have a lot of questions to be answered, especially with these really nice trains that they've managed to get back on some of the tracks in the country. Thank you for that. That's eNCA's Govan Whittles tracking the visit there to the Wilmerton depot of Prasa by the members of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, who are doing oversight into the affairs of the embattled passenger rail operator, Prasa. All right, we are approaching the top of the hour. I'll be back with more of the day's top stories at the top of 12.